Hello, everybody. How you guys doing today? We are waiting on a raid train coming in about 10 minutes, so I'm just going to warm up here, warm up my voice, and for anybody who out there feels like joining me, I would encourage you to do that. Even if you're not a singer, it feels great to warm up our voices. For me, it is 11:50 a.m. I didn't get up that long ago, so my voice is a little froggy. So I'm going to warm it up here. So take a deep breath in, stretch your arms up, and let it out with a sigh. I'll do that a few more times. Deep breath in. Can really let the voice go from the tippy top of your register to the bottom. Try it again. And really release everything. All right, now we can do the same thing, but with lip trills. So if you don't know lip trills, that's when you make this funny motorboat sound. All right, and that's very, very relaxing for our voices. I'm going to take a deep breath in and out. Just letting it go as long as you can, but not pushing it. Deep breath in and out. All right, guys. Now I'm going to do a little warm up with the piano. One way I like to do this is a little improvisational warm up. So I'll just find a chord at the piano and then do lip trills. And as I do this, I'm finding little spots in my voice that need a little attention. That's a little vocal warm-up idea. Hey, Mr. Spock, welcome in. We're just warming up the voice over here. Next warm-up I'm going to do is with this handy-dandy bottle of water with a straw. So, the way we do this, we have the straw. It's just a little bit into the water, and then we start singing into that. Which song do you mean, Mr. Spock? Was it the one that was playing in the waiting screen? I just have that on like a playlist, so I don't know which song was playing today, but they're all original songs. Welcome in, Chava. Welcome in, Raiders. How are you guys doing today? We got Sibley Irresistible. We got Didbox. How are you doing? Loop Noise Beat is in here. And of course, Chavo. How are you doing? Sibley says vocal warm-ups. Is that what you were doing on your stream? I just did some vocal warm-ups myself. Although I have to say my voice is still not quite warm. It is 12 noon in Berlin, Germany, and we have an actually sunny day. What do you know? With bluish skies and clouds, and it's looking nice out there. But I slept in late today, so for me it feels still like it's still morning. How are things where you guys are in the world? I would love to know whereabouts you are and how you're feeling today. Sibley is getting buffered. Oh no. Let me check. Okay. I hope that's better. Guys, I just realized that I had my VPN on. Oh my God, what a new mistake. I'm sure it will sort itself out now that I've disconnected my VPN. Oh my God, you guys. So does that mean you didn't really hear my intro song? God damn it. Well, thank you for letting me know. Am I back now? My goodness. Technology. And I did a pretty killer improv intro, I have to say. Did y'all miss it? Oh, crap. As I was saying, which I guess you guys didn't even hear, welcome in, Raiders. Welcome, Chavo. Welcome, Peace and Love, Didbox. We have Sibley Irresistible and Loop Noise Beat in here as well. My name is Heartblood. I'm a singer-songwriter based in Berlin, originally from California. And today we are doing a special raid train to support fellow community member, music streamer Jay Nothing. You can check out the link pinned in the chat, as well as the QR code here on the screen. He has fallen on hard times. And so the stream has been organized to help raise some funds to make things just a little bit easier. So if you're feeling generous today, if you're feeling like the Twitch music community has been meaningful for you, maybe consider throwing a few bucks, a coffee his way over here. Jay Nothing is a music streamer that explores the world of modular synthesis using the program VCV Rack. So on this stream, if you haven't been here before, I do usually a mix of improvisation, piano, as well as vocals, and I also play my original songs, which you can request in the song list, !SL. I'll put that in the chat. Sometimes you'll catch me writing songs, writing lyrics, sharing new songs that I've written here. Hey, Gigi Lovecraft, welcome in. My sight reading is horrible. I'm more of an improviser and ear player. I mean, I can read music, but I'm not great at it. It's one of my weaker points, musically. But that's okay. We all have our strengths and weaknesses when it comes to music. It's just some people are more intuitive and some people like to have more of a have it more clearly spelled out. For me, I'm more intuitive. I like to have more freedom. And yeah. Chavo, did you tell me how your stream was? I think I asked you how your stream was and people couldn't hear me, so. Chavo says, I tried my first steps on the wild side and I like it. What wild side? Tell me about it. You mean like musically? Let me tell you guys why I'm so passionate about improvisation. And this can apply also to other forms of art. So, for example, like visual art, I guess any kind of way of approaching art that's more spontaneous and playful and experimental as opposed to rigid and planned. Improvisation allows you to free yourself from perfectionism, or at least to go in that direction, because you can never completely predict everything that's going to come out. Even if you're very, very skilled, there's still going to be some surprises along the way. And that's part of the beauty. It's also kind of like life, I think. Like, depending on how much skill or practice you have with your instrument, you have more or less control over it. But even if you don't have that much control, that like anybody can improvise. Like even if you've never played the piano before, like I'm not kidding. Like it's pure experimentation and play. Like imagine a child like encountering a piano for the first time. Like a young child doesn't have these like pressures or preconceptions in their head about what is right and wrong. They just want to try it. They just want to see what noises they can make and just experiment. And I think that's really the heart of it. And yeah, everything else is, it's just practice. The more you practice, the more you can have some control over what comes out. But in the end, like, why would you want to have total control over it? Like, that's part of the beauty and the surprise is when, something comes out that you didn't expect. And then instead of like freezing and getting anxious about it, you practice just building on top of that. So if I played a chord that, I really am not looking and I don't know what's going to come out. So it's all like taking what I hear coming out and then kind of building on top of that. Instead of saying like, oh crap, that was the wrong note. No, it's not the wrong note. Just listen to what comes out and then see where we go from there. And I really love that. I think that's it's a beautiful thing to practice. Sibley says, I could never sight read because I started on clarinet and it wasn't a good. Oh, interesting. Lovecraft says, I'm struggling with trying to read better because I fear that my lack of music reading proficiency and or talent has held me back in music. Okay, yeah. It's absolutely a valuable skill, and there's definitely a lot of times that I think the same thing. Maybe I should, improve that. But on the other hand, it's like there's so many skills in music. I guess it really depends like what you really desire to do musically. I guess I would just approach that thinking, do you feel the need to do that because of outside pressures like that, pressures about like what it means to be a good musician and stuff like that, or is it actually that you really long to be able to pick up those pages and sight read, because that's of course that's completely valid, and if that's the case, then yeah, that sounds like a really good thing to work on. For me personally, I play all my own music. I don't really play I don't play like music from sheet music. Most of the time it's not because it's hard. It's also because I just don't really want to or care to, because I like improvising and I like playing my own music. And most of the time I just don't have a need to do that. So don't have a huge motivation for it. Chava says, my stream was great. I did some improvisations. Only played from notes till today. Oh, wow. Today was the first time. Well, awesome. And Peace and Love says it was the shiz. That's awesome. You had your synth set up and started to try to improvise and do all kinds of stuff, resulting in a wild mix of styles and ideas. Oh, well, that's fantastic. I am very happy to hear that. Didbox says, I like to live dangerously. I chose improvisation without skills. Oh, yeah. I completely support that. Who needs skills? I mean, I'm not kidding, because, like, honestly, who hasn't met an artist who has really great skill but no confidence? And I was, I had no confidence. Like, a few years ago, I was actually absolutely terrified to share my music with anybody. And I think there's a lot of people who get into that boat where, like, they're just like, oh, I'm not good enough yet. I need to keep getting better. I need to keep practicing. And they just, like, really stop themselves from just having this freedom, self-expression, all these things that are most important in music, like being super precise and skilled is great. It's nice. It's impressive. It's I mean, it's so much fun if you develop those skills. But if at the same time you have a lot of fear. If I had to choose between being a highly skilled musician, but that was just permanently locked in fear, versus having zero skills, but being willing to try new things, I would go with the zero skills, guys, because, like, if you just try new things, like, you will eventually get skills. But if you keep getting skills, but you're not willing to, like, experiment, and you're not willing to make mistakes in front of people, I think that's a lot harder place to be in, to be honest. Hey, Poke Your Eyes Out Games. That is an epic name. How are you doing? Welcome in. Poke Your Eyes Out says, my 4-year-old plays on the keyboard all the time. Yeah. And I bet your 4-year-old isn't just like, oh God, I'm going to make a mistake. Like, a 4-year-old encounters an instrument or, like, a piece of paper and crayons or, like, paint, and they're just like, hell yeah, let's do this. Let's see what happens if I pour this paint over here and, like, throw it on the wall. Like, that might be fun. I mean, not always the most convenient for parents, but I think that kind of spirit, sometimes that gets crushed with in adulthood, as we, like, start to see art as this special thing where we have to work so hard before we're worthy of, like, sharing anything with anyone. And it's just, I find that really sad. Chavo says, jazz, just be confident with playing it. Yeah. Just, there's no wrong notes, only jazz. Mango Mindset says, I'm going to call the jazz police on all of you. Jazz police? What? Jazz police, like, this concept, like, it's real, but at the same time, it's like, come on now. Like, the original spirit of jazz, like, is so anti-police. And welcome in, Mango Mindset. How are you doing? Sibley says, to Lovecraft, I recommend just getting tossed notes and tossing them back, getting tossed rhythms and getting that groove, and getting chords and playing the root. Yeah, I did talk about what the stream is about today. I'm not sure what got cut off, because earlier in the stream we had some connection issues. So yeah, maybe I will just re-summarize for anybody who didn't hear. So yeah, I'm Heartblood. I'm a singer-songwriter from California, but based in Berlin, Germany for the past 10 years. I mainly play improv, I sing, I write music on this channel, and I generally just try to promote creativity to everybody as a way of self-expression, a way of just becoming more alive, and just discovering yourself And I really invite everybody to try to connect more with that side of themselves. If you don't feel that you are, I can only recommend it. And today is a special raid train organized to support fellow music streamer Jay Fundraiser, who has recently fallen on hard times. Jay is a music streamer who explores the world of modular synthesis using VCV Rack. So yeah, there's lots of ways that you can support, and whether you know Jay or not, I think this is a great way to just support the community. It benefits all of us to know that this community, that we have each other's backs. So this community has been helpful to you, it's been meaningful to you, it's been a safe place for you, a place of inspiration, of open-mindedness. Yeah, maybe consider tossing a few bucks over to Jay Fundraiser. You can donate with the QR code on the screen or check out the pinned message in chat. Sibley says, a skill is nice for showing. Yeah, I mean, who doesn't want to show off? That's true. Chava says the most hard thing is the start. There's this amount of Lampenfieber. Lampenfieber is like, I guess it's stage fright or performance anxiety. It literally is like lamp or light fever. So it's like you're out there on the stage and there's all the attention is on you and you get really nervous. And I can totally relate. I am absolutely not immune to that. Although I have gotten pretty comfortable with playing for you guys here on Twitch, but it definitely wasn't like that at the beginning. It was quite difficult. And I still have really quite bad performance anxiety when it comes to performing in person. So that's something that I'm working on. But yeah, I mean, again, it's something that comes with practice. And I think, honestly, if you make a mistake in a performance in front of somebody, as much as it's scary, it's an opportunity to be okay with that. Because that's the most powerful thing. If you're okay with making some mistakes in front of people, that really sets you free. And again, I'm speaking from a place where I still have really horrible performance anxiety, and who knows, maybe I'll always have it. I know there's a lot of musicians, they've always had that, and it's just kind of part of life. And sometimes you just kind of have to accept and embrace that, yeah, I'm going to feel anxious. I'm going to feel like excited. But that's part of, being really alive, right? When we do these things that are scary but exciting. And most of the time afterwards, after we do something like that and like we realize, wow, nothing bad happened, it feels really good. Poke Your Eyes Out says it's like musical vomit. If he wants to, he'll get better. Hey, Killer Carrot. How you doing? Welcome in. Rox Ravenheart, welcome in. How you doing? Good to see you again. Sibley says, taking the first step. There's so much between sitting and beginning. Sometimes my friends say the first 5 minutes. When you think about it, just honestly try to start for just 5 minutes. You might have a 5-minute session or a 4-hour session. Absolutely. Oh, hello there. Now we're sitting down. Yeah, I completely agree, Sibley. Sometimes you have to just, choose a goal that is just a little stretch for you. It's like, it might be a little uncomfortable, but not too uncomfortable or scary. We don't want to base our goals on what other people are doing. We want to base it on where we are right now. And for where you are right now, that might mean getting out there on a stage and doing something crazy. Or it might be for the very first time in a long time, like in a private room, quiet at home, you pick up that instrument that you haven't played in a long time and just play it for a few minutes. Or you get out your journal that you haven't gotten out in a long time and just actually write some honest words. Or you get out your paintbrushes. Something like that. And yeah, just depending on wherever you are, that could be a really meaningful step. Chava says, thank you for your words. Really helpful. I'll now have to take care about some real life, regular Saturday stuff. Well, good luck with that. Thanks for raiding in here, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. And congrats again on doing some improv today. I think that's really fantastic, and I hope you'll keep doing that. All right, guys. So I'd like to guide you in just a brief meditation now. I have some beautiful singing bowls over here. And what's special about these instruments, they have this really beautiful craftsmanship. When you play them, there's so many complicated frequencies, and it just really draws you in and helps you become still. I've heard it described almost like listening to the sound of silence. Yeah, so wherever you are, I hope you'll take a minute with me to maybe close your eyes if it's safe, or if it's not safe, you keep them open, but just take a deep breath. Try to come back to the present moment. Get out of your head and into your body. And I'm going to play these for you. Yes, we are going to do breathing. Deep breath in and out. Notice how you're doing right now. Just take a little scan from your head to your toe. So notice if there's any tension in your forehead, your eyes, your jaw, your shoulders. As you breathe in, you're noticing tension, and as you breathe out, you're letting it release ever so slightly. And even if it doesn't want to release, that's completely fine. Sometimes there's a good reason for the feelings in our bodies, and it's nice to just notice them, say hello, acknowledge how you're feeling. And as you notice your breath going in and out, you have the opportunity to savor the feeling of breathing and being alive. Most of the time we take it for granted that we breathe in and out, that our heart beats. When things get difficult, sometimes it can really help to just come back to that fundamental feeling of breathing. That isn't to say that we should always be happy. It isn't to say that life isn't difficult at times or even most of the time. Only a reminder that on a fundamental level, we are okay. Is all we need. Nothing to fear. Breathe silently. Feelings arise. They come and they go. Our roots go deep. Our leaves grow. When life gets too hard, we reach to the stars to know we're not alone. Breathe in, breathe out. Your voice is a shout of here and now. Breathe in, breathe out. Your voice is a shout. Life will win in flesh and bone. Breathe in, breathe out. Allow your life inside to shout for joy and pain. We are all the same. Thanks, guys, for being with me today on this stream, and I hope you enjoyed that little quiet meditation Mango says the bowls sound ominous, soothingly ominous. That's just what I'm going for. Soothing, but ominous. Ominous, but soothing. You know, the best of both worlds. Thank you, Monk. Hello. Welcome in. Resub for 17 months. Amazing. I appreciate you very much. How are you doing today? How's your Saturday? We just did a little meditation with the singing bowls over here. Yeah, I like doing that. I mean, I do that for myself, you guys. So it's nice to be able to do that for you too. And I hope it brings just a little bit of calmness to your day. Thank you, Mr. Spock. Hello, Custom Blink. How are you doing, my friend? Sibley says, I think everyone should be mindful at least some point. Yeah. I mean, it's a practice that has really, really helped me in my life. Helped me get through a lot of difficult things. And yeah, I recommend it. And if anybody at any point has any questions, I'm an open book. Very happy to talk about mindfulness and meditation. It has helped me in my life, in my artistic practice. And I've been doing it for quite a long time. And if anybody is out there who feels a little unsure about it, maybe like it's not for them, I would just say that it might be hard at first to do sort of the stereotype of what you imagine is meditation. But there's always so many different ways to approach mindfulness. So if one way is a little bit too much for you, you might want to consider another kind of way. For example, when I started, as somebody with pretty severe anxiety, just sitting and breathing and watching my breathing, I would get really anxious because it was just this stillness, and like the feeling of my breath was not relaxing to me. It was scary because I had these negative associations with my breath, and then I would get in this spiral of anxiety. And that was just not really the right place for me to start at that point. Now I do really get a lot of doing that kind of meditation, but wasn't always like that. So yeah, I mean, if you've tried one thing, you're like, oh, it's not for me, I'd like to just plant the seed that, mindfulness is for everybody. It's not really a arcane or obscure practice. It's really just about, it's not about being relaxed. It's not about having no thoughts. I think those are two of the most common misconceptions. It's about coming back to the present moment. That's mainly what it's about. So that is really something that is powerful and important for everybody, because we don't want to let our lives go by without really being here, I'm sure all of us have had experiences where we're just so focused on like, what's the next thing, that we kind of miss out on some of the just the everyday things, like, the birds singing, or, the roses, how they say stop and smell the roses. Like, if we're not mindful, then we will miss those kind of things. And I think it's quite easy to just kind of race to the end of your life without really stopping. I think that's far too common. Yeah, we miss out on those important moments with our loved ones. We're like busy, gotta get to the next thing, and practicing mindfulness intentionally kind of helps you get a little bit more into the present moment more often, if that makes sense. So that you'll basically have more of a feeling that you're not missing your life. That's the best way I can describe it. Hey, Dark Native, welcome in. How are you doing today? Monk says, my Saturday just started, week was a lot, and now I'm sitting here with the first morning tea and thinking about getting another. That sounds fantastic. Yeah, I mean, great to have a nice, slow Saturday morning. Tea is always good. Monk also says, being alone with yourself can be scary, true. Especially if you let things come to the surface that you normally keep bottled up. Absolutely. I think that's one of the big reasons why a lot of people who try to start meditating decide that it's not for them because, it just the stillness, like it just, if you haven't practiced that before, it can feel quite unsettling. And that was also me before, so I completely understand that. So if you're in that position, but you are interested in maybe trying some mindful practices, it might be better to think of trying something with movement. So you can try walking meditation or even, yoga, for example, is a moving meditation. Although the way that it's taught in a lot of cases is not really so mindful. But yeah, like walking meditation. I personally use dance a lot. You can try dancing mindfully. So what that would mean is, for example, just choose some music that you really like that makes you want to move. Put it on, find a quiet spot where you're alone and not disturbed, and then just start moving. It can be really slow at first. You can close your eyes, nobody's watching you. Really allow yourself to breathe deeply and move intuitively. That can be a really nice mindful practice. So try to just move with the music and be really present. I think music is a really great support for people who want to practice mindfulness, but maybe have trouble with just this like sitting cross-legged in silence for an hour kind of thing. It's really not the best place for most people to start. A fly stuck to a web is here. Welcome, Raiders. How are you doing? Thanks so much for the raid. We were just talking about mindfulness and meditation practices. Thanks for the follow, Jim the Humanoid. How was your stream? So nice to see you. Crisley Bear on Air, thank you for the follow. Thank you, Raiders. How you doing today? I appreciate you, and I just want to say thank you for the raid. I hope you've been okay, and I'd love to know how your stream did go. Always fun trying to think of rhymes. Welcome in, Raiders. We're doing a special raid train today, raising some funds for Jay Nuthin, who is a fellow member of this music community on Twitch, who explores modular synthesis music with VCV Rack on his channel. And he is having a rough time right now. And so, yeah, that's the purpose of this raid train today, is trying to show some support. So yeah, if you're feeling generous today, if you're feeling like, wow, this community is just so important to me, and I don't know where I'd be without Twitch music, Yeah, it's a chance to give back. You can check out the QR code on the screen or the link in the pinned chat message, and you will get to his Ko-Fi. Yeah. And I am Heartblood. This is my stream. I'm a singer-songwriter based in Berlin, Germany, originally from California. And I love to improvise on the piano. I love to sing. I play my original songs, and sometimes I write songs on the stream. And just generally, the stream is a window into my creative life. It's a place where I get to try new things with a supportive community. And you get to see what I do creatively in a very, very unfiltered, very raw way. I just try to share every step of the process and try to encourage everyone that I can to get in touch with their own creativity. It's really a meaningful way to discover yourself and to become more present and more alive in your life. So if that sounds good to you, maybe you're in the right place. Thank you again for the raid. Thank you, Crizzly, Jim the Humanoid. How are you doing? Fly says, I've been wanting to raid here. Well, thank you. It is very appreciated. How was your stream? Hey, Debbie. Welcome in. Oh no, Rox Ravenheart has been terribly sick the past few days. Gotta lay down. Well, I hope you feel better soon. I'm so sorry that you've been sick. I feel like a lot of people have been quite sick recently. I've been sick myself a few times already this winter, and it is such a pain, but I do appreciate you dropping by. Blink thinks that they're in the right place, well, I'm glad. I am very glad. Fly says it was a lovely time spent with wonderful people. Well, you can't go wrong with that. Can't go wrong with that. Sounds just about perfect. Monk said, I also like guided meditations for getting back into practice or for when I feel particularly restless, unable to focus, or too anxious. Yes, for those of you just rated in, we were talking about meditation before that. I am very passionate about my own practice and just about kind of sharing that with other people and kind of demystifying it a little bit, making it hopefully a little bit less scary. I think like a lot of practices, like whether it's playing music or doing other kinds of art or practicing meditation, I think there's a lot of pressure to be perfect and to do it in this certain stereotypical way. And here on this channel, we really like to challenge those things and say, hey, we don't have to do things the way that other people do them. We don't have to do them in the way that is like in the image in my head and in our heads. We can do that, explore them for ourselves without being judgmental or critical. Well, thanks so much for the raid, Fly. Appreciate that. And have a great sleep. Thank you again for bringing your people here. Monk says, I'll never understand why you gave up California sun for cold German weather. I was born here and still struggle with the colder seasons the older that I get. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I do miss the good weather. But I also really like the seasons here. Like, I love the changes, and we don't have that in California. or at least in Southern California where I'm from, we just have kind of generally warm weather most of the year, which I mean, of course, is really, really nice. Um, but I also like, I never really grew up appreciating it. I do appreciate it now that I don't have it. So when I go back there, it's like, oh, amazing. And it just feels so incredible. Um, but yeah, I mean, the grass is always greener. What can I say? Like, if you've grown up with a certain kind of weather, like, sometimes a change can be good, even when it brings its challenges. Like here, I don't like the winter here, but I absolutely love the spring and the fall. So the spring brings like this amazing burst of life, the first, well, we're already getting the first flowers coming up, like the crocuses and the snowdrops, like that. I love that. I love seeing that. Like we don't have that in California where it's like you see the shift of the climate of the seasons. The trees go from being like bare skeletons and then they start to get the little itty bitty first leaves, like, and then the birds start to come out more. Like that's, I mean, come on, that's just, it's kind of magical. And then in the fall, you have the leaves starting to fall, and then you have different colors. And we don't have that in Southern California. Just maybe a little bit, but it's not. It's not really. You just don't really see as much difference in the seasons. So yeah, I think honestly, I really like seeing the shift in the seasons. I think it's kind of, I don't know, somehow very I don't know, it kind of like hits me on an emotional level, I guess I'd say. Sibley says we normalize our climate, seasons are lovely. That being said, I moved away from the snow. Where are you living now, Sibley? And where are you from? Grizzly says, I grew up in Germany and I miss the sun and warm weather in winter, even though I grew up here. And where are you now, Grizzly? Oh, you're in Munich, I see. Thank you, Maddie, for the follow. I appreciate that. Monk says, I hate snow, at least what goes by that name in the north. Snow quickly melts into mud and then the mud stays. Yeah, I hate that in Berlin as well. But when it stays and when it's all nice and fluffy, like, I love that. I love that. Sibley says, I'm in Orange County, grew up in New Jersey and did snowy time in upstate New York. Nice. I'm from Orange County, actually. Yeah. I haven't lived there in quite many years now, but yeah. Expensive. Yeah. I mean, it was expensive when I left like a decade or so ago. But yeah, I believe that it's more so than ever. That's what I hear from my friends and it's just, I mean, I'm happy that I live here, honestly. Like Alright, I'm gonna play a request from Sibley called Dandelion Heart. And this song, if you're following me on Instagram, I just made a post a couple days ago about weeds. So, weeds, like these plants that just are so tenacious and grow everywhere, like dandelions and other things. I love them. And the reason why I love them, first of all, I think it's so unjust that they're vilified as weeds. I am very pro weeds. Because, not only are a lot of these plants actually very useful for humans, they have medicinal value, etc. But they're just cool. Like, I mean, isn't that cool? There's like plants that just grow out of little cracks in like a wall, and like that's fine for them. Like they are such survivors, and yeah, and then people like try to kill them from their lawns. They want their lawns to be like perfect and green and all this. They mow them down, they pull them out, they like use weed killers, and then the weeds just come back anyways, because that's what they do, They know how to survive anything. Anyway, so I wrote this song just based on that. Based on my admiration for weeds. Yeah. So I think we're gonna see if we got set up the guitar, play it on the guitar. Oh, it's a yawn. Hello, Jay Nathan. Welcome in. How you doing? For those of you who don't know, Jay Nathan is a music streamer for whom we're doing this raid train today. If you wanna help this community, if you're feeling today like, wow, this community has meant a lot to me, yeah, a great way to give back would just be to throw a few bucks to Jay Nathan's Ko-Fi, and yeah, I mean, I think it's good for everybody to just know that this community has each other's backs, that we care about each other, and that we want everybody in this community to continue being able to do what they do, to to keep exploring their creativity and sharing that, and so welcome in, Jay. How are you doing this morning? Jay says, I love the snow here in Montreal, Canada. Nice. Is it really snowy right now? Monk said, it's nice to look at the snow, but I'm a bicycle enthusiast, and that's your only mode of travel. Snow and ice are really annoying. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I mean, I've heard that like in places where it really stays on the ground, like in Nordic countries and stuff, you're fine with the bike, I don't know if they're called chains or like those like spiky things that will help you ride on the ice, but yeah, if it's like here where it's just like snow and melt and stone melt, then it's just crap. Yeah. Debbie says, hello from Vancouver. Nice. Jay says it was snowy yesterday. Today seems just cloudy. Oh, did the snow melt already? Da, 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 da. Rip me apart. dandelion heart will always come back home. Strand me afar to wither alone. My dandelion heart will find its way back home. Rip me apart, scatter my soul. My dandelion heart will always come back home. Strand me afar to wither alone. My dandelion heart will find its way back home. One day or another, one day or another, one day or another, one day or another. Cut out my eyes, leave me for dead, 'cause I don't need your love. Don't be surprised, my heart it bled. I never needed your love. Rip me apart, scatter my soul. My dandelion heart will always come back home. Strand me afar to wither alone. My dandelion heart will find its way back home. Rip me apart, scatter my soul. My dandelion heart will always come back home. That was an original song called Dandelion Heart. I was just telling everybody it's about how much I love weeds. I love dandelions. I love all those weeds that they just don't stop. They just don't stop. They do their thing. They always keep coming back, and they can grow in the most unhospitable of conditions, and I find that very beautiful, very inspiring. You're welcome, Sibley. Thanks for requesting that. Hello, Rinat. Welcome in. How are you doing today? How is your life? Monk says I have an old mountain bike with really thick tires, which is at least one size too small for me for when there's actual snow here. I see. Yeah, that's good that in that case that it's too small for you. It's easier to stop yourself from falling. Thank you, Debbie, for the kind words. Thanks, Blink and Jim, for the claps. Sibley says I have the same brand of chair. Took the arms off to fit my bass guitar easier. That's a great idea. I should take these off. They're very annoying, honestly. Mr. Spock says, doing a little nippy nap in my hot, sun-heated van after eating some good food from the local health food market. That sounds great. Sounds very great. Renat is doing good, resting and calming at vacation. Oh, that's awesome. Glad to hear that. I am very glad to hear that. I know that things were a little rough recently. I hope that your vacation is It's really rejuvenating. Blink says, Big Farm doesn't want you to know that the leaves of the dandelion can make a nice salad. Yeah, I mean, like, honestly, if you ever feel just really discouraged with life, which I'm sure we all do, just getting to know the little weeds and plants that live around your neighborhood can be a really fun thing to do. I actually started learning about these things when I was recovering from being very ill. And most people on the stream who know me already know this story, but I was quite ill about 7 years ago, quite severely, and it took a few years to recover. So yeah, it was a long period with me like not being able to do much. Like I had to stop working, stop going to my university. Basically, I was quite ill and disabled for a few years. And yeah, there was a lot of little things that I did to just get by. One of them was learning about plants, and I never cared about them or learned really much of anything about wild plants when I was living in California. But yeah, I was recovering here, and I started learning about the plants that are around here. And it was just so helpful and hopeful, you guys. So I can only recommend if you're feeling like really hopeless and like things are just, there's just horrible things everywhere you look. Like that's something that can be really nice because guess what? Even in the places where people work the hardest to get rid of weeds and wild plants, they're still there and they always come back. And you can either be annoyed with them because you want your lawn to look perfect, or you can embrace them and welcome them and celebrate, like, hey, look at these wild plants. Like, these are plants that just thrive with no help. Like, that was a revelation to me because I never had a green thumb. Like, I always sucked at taking care of plants. Every time somebody would give me a plant as a gift, it would die like within like a month maximum. And so I always had this feeling like, plants, like, I don't know. But after I started learning about these plants and like, dang, like we struggle like with like trying to grow like these ornamental flowers that come from other climates, and we just don't have this relationship with the actual plants that just grow natively, and they don't need our help. They don't need like any special care, but they're still growing there. Like that's amazing. Yeah. What was I trying to say about that? It's just cool. I don't know. Just learn the names of plants. I promise you'll feel happier. The trees too, learn the names of the trees. Like, I mean, just I didn't know the names of any of the trees. And then after I started learning them, I started having this feeling like, oh, hey, oak tree. Hey, ash tree. Hey, willow tree. What's up? Like, what's not great about that? Blink says careful of pollutants. Absolutely. Like, you don't want to harvest wild plants, A, unless you know for damn sure what they are and that they're safe, and then B, that it should be from a safe place. So, not where it's likely to have, traffic pollution or like dogs, peeing on it or whatever. Yeah, but I mean, you also like don't have to harvest it. Like you can also just appreciate it. Like me, I just enjoy seeing them around, and I, in my imagination, it's like when the apocalypse comes, I know where all the plants in my neighborhood are that I can eat, like, you know, that like grow plentifully and um hey, I mean, that's a nice thought, I guess. Uh, Sibley says, Big Lawn doesn't want me growing tomatoes or strawberries everywhere instead of grass. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not a fan of lawns. They're kind of boring. I mean, they are useful like for playing, like if you have kids or dogs, like sure, like a nice stretch of grass is nice, but I feel like especially in the US and like growing up in California, it's just obscene like how much water people use on lawns that they don't use. Like if you use it fine, but I feel like vast majority of people's lawns, especially the front lawns, they don't use them hardly. They're just there, and then the people get stressed out about like, oh, I gotta mow the lawn, I gotta like kill the weeds. Like, it's so dumb. It's really dumb. Sibley says any kind of rehab or incapacitation is so hard. Yes, yes, it is. Blink says the top leaves of stinging nettles are great. Yes, yes. I do enjoy those. I've made them into like omelets, like kind of like kind of like spinach sauce kind of thing, where you cook them down and then you can add like well, I add like soy milk, but you can add like some kind of creamy thing and then like blend it with seasonings and then you can put that on pasta or potatoes or an omelet or whatever. Blink says don't embrace it. Yeah. Only metaphorically, like not literally. It will be a very unpleasant hug. uh, Monk's had a cactus die on him. Yeah, I mean, me too, Monk. Like, literally. I I never really thought that I would get into gardening and plants. It's only because, of my recovery phase where I really just had to search for things that I would be able to do at that point. And yeah, I mean, at first I was just at home and I couldn't really go out, but then as I started to go out a little bit, it was just like really short, like in the neighborhood, just like walking just around the buildings near where I live. And when that's all you see every day, you do like start to notice those little things, and that's not a bad thing. Like, um, I wouldn't wish illness or anything like that on anybody, but I can't say I would change it for myself because I think, that experience taught me a lot, and I feel that, um, yeah, I mean, I think you can learn a lot from those kind of experiences, like just trying to find beauty and inspiration in like really, really small places. Um, Renat says, I've heard in news that plants have conversation between themselves. That's what scientists told at the news. Oh my God. That's cool. I should look that up. I mean, I know that plants do have some communications through their roots and like through like um I think like chemicals and hormones. They can send signals saying like, "Hey, there's like a pest or like a disease coming, like watch out." I think trees do that too. Although I've heard also that trees of the same varieties, like they can actually send nutrients to each other. Like a mama tree can like send food to a baby tree. That's what I've heard. I don't know how true it is, but it's kind of cool. Monk says, nice. I always enjoy having leisure time for a couple days to get some reading done and catch up on stuff that gets lost in my work. Wait, in my work balance, your worked balance life. Oh, Monk. Yeah, well, I'm glad that every now and then you have that time to catch up. Um, Although I do think that sometimes when people stuck, are like every day stuck in this pattern of like work, 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 like, and then they take a break and their head is still like working. Do you get that as well? Um, Sibley says lawns are less scary than private golf clubs. That's true. You're right. Yeah, I mean, that's a whole other level of like obscene. It's like, do you really need, is this really useful for anybody? Sibley says walking is very nice for well-being. Yes, it is. Sibley says depends on the tree. Some communicate through their local fungus. Oh, okay. That's cool. Renat says, I want to spend some time and improve my health. My tests are not very good. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I'm sorry to hear that your tests aren't very good, but I hope that it's a motivation for you. Um, yeah, and I hope you'll find some ways to take care of your health that will be enjoyable for you and not feel like, you know, like a punishment or something. Yeah, I feel like a lot of health programs and health advice these days I just don't like the way they're just like very, I don't know, like, lose weight, like, and stop eating food that you like and go to the gym like 10 times a day. I don't know. And just do it and work harder and all that. Um, for me, like, I've realized after like having gym subscriptions and stuff that I just never stick to, or like eating plans that I never stick to, that it's the best thing is to choose something that is sustainable, that you actually can enjoy, and then you'll actually stick with it for a longer term. So like for exercise, for example, choosing something that is really gets you excited and that you actually want to do even not related to your health. Like when I started practicing martial arts, welcome in Synthetic Forest. Thanks for the follow there. And you're welcome. But yeah, we were just talking about health and improving health. I just feel like a lot of the advice out there is just like, it's like, be more disciplined, go to the gym more. And, but like if it's something that you hate doing, like it's kind of hard to do for long term. Like you might be able to do it for a certain amount of time, but then in most cases, people fall off those habits that they don't actually like. So for me, I've found that like my martial arts and my dance, I just really enjoy it. Like it feels good. And so I don't have to like, you know, really like push myself to do it as much. And then like as far as food goes, that I'm struggling with a little more because like we are kind of addicted to like convenience food, like ordering food a lot and stuff like that. Has been an issue for us, so that's what we're working on. But when we cook for ourselves, like I think that's the best way to like take care of your diet is if you can find things to cook that you really enjoy. Um, even if they're not like 100% healthy, like if you make desserts for yourself or whatever, you'll probably eat a lot less bad things than if you are just like buying everything pre-made from the store because that takes no effort. Um, Jay Nathan says, did you know that the biggest organism found on the planet so far is a type of fungus covering an area of over 2,200 acres? That's amazing. I think I have heard about that. It's because the fungus have that mycelial network, right? Like underground, that's just like giant, and we don't even know it's there. It's awesome. Forrest says riding a bike is very beneficial. Yeah, and it can be really fun as well. And Monk says, says, I hear that walking is good a lot, but whenever I try that, I can't stop thinking I'd be so much faster in wheels. Hiking is great with a backpack, tent, and all, but just taking a walk I can't get into for some reason. It is supposed to be very good for your health, though. Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of people, a lot of cyclists are like that for sure. Um, but yeah, I mean, they're just different ways of seeing things. One is slower, but it's which is like a negative, but it's also a positive. I guess if you see it as a positive, like, sometimes you want to get somewhere fast, and then sometimes you want to like see things more and have a chance to appreciate it. So I guess in that case, going slower is good. One good thing about walking for your health that you don't get from biking is for your posture. I've learned a lot about this recently because I had a lot of back pain, so I've been really trying to work on my posture. And these days, because we as humans sit a lot more than we ever have in the past, our bodies tend to get kind of cramped in this position, which I'm doing right now, by the way. Like, I have to remind myself to sit up straight. But yeah, I mean, we're just sitting all the time, so our body kind of adapts to that. Like, things get kind of shortened in the front, like at our hips and our chest and shoulder area, and lengthened in the back so that we're kind of caving in forward. And walking is one thing that actually helps counteract that. Because you're upright and when you're walking, you're kind of, and if you're standing with good posture, then you're counteracting all the effects of sitting. Whereas biking, you're not, because you're still sitting and you're on a bike. Which, there's nothing wrong with sitting. It's just that we do that like most of the time. So walking is something that, counteracts that. Running as well, but the thing is that running can be tricky if you haven't really done it before. I think people injure themselves really quickly. It's if you're not walking a lot, I wouldn't recommend starting to run. I think you have to be really good with walking far and then start doing a little running. At least that's my experience, because you can really easily get injuries in your knees particularly. Just because, unfortunately our bodies are so used to the sitting position that we have these shortened, imbalanced muscles. Anyways, I'll stop talking about that because I'm not a physical therapist or a doctor or anything. But yeah. Sibley says stress can be expensive. Yes, it can. It is really, not only your healthcare costs, but just just emotionally, Spock says plants, and especially all trees watching care each other by or via the biggest organism. Yeah, it's amazing. Amazing stuff. Didbox says, I never ordered food home delivering. I mean, never. Well, that's great. I mean, I think you shouldn't start. It's really not a great habit. We should really not do that as much. But yeah, I think that's an area of my health that I'm working on. Trying to cook more. Sibley says, standing desk, please. Yeah, here I am talking about we're sitting too much and I'm sitting down. But yeah, I do have a standing desk, so maybe I will move it up in just a minute. Didbox says, for pizzas and Japanese food, I'm forced to go out and go to a restaurant or buy food for home. Oh, okay. So you don't actually have like delivery for those things. I mean, that's not a bad thing. Like, at least you get to, like, at least you have to go pick it up. Mr. Spock says, also never, always organic cooking on my own. That is awesome. That is fantastic. Monk says that usually goes with making some changes in your life. Developing those into habits to improve either or both mental or physical health takes time and a lot of work and energy to stick to it until it's a natural part of life. Hope you find what you need or feels good and is good for you. Yeah, that's a beautiful way of putting it. Yeah, we want these things to just become natural, you know? Yeah, and not to feel like a strain or like forced, you know? Forrest says, I walked 20K steps a day. I have been doing that easy at work. Oh, nice. And what is your work? Are you a forester? Like, that would make sense, I guess. Sibley says, so if you're injured, can you not work the synthetic forest? So, synthetic forest, tell us about the synthetic forest. I'm very curious now. Monk admires cooking that did box cooks every day. Trying to cook bigger portions so I don't have to conjure up the energy to do so every day. That's a great idea. Like, we love to make soups and then like freeze portions of them. So that we always have something for those days when we don't want to cook. But then we also like to go out and order food, which is bad because, you know, it's expensive and not as healthy. And often not as good, to be honest. My husband is a great cook, so I love it when he cooks. I'm not really a fan of cooking myself. I don't know why I haven't really gotten into it. Maybe I should like take my own advice and do some more exploring to figure out what kind of cooking I actually like. You know, kind of similar to like the whole exercise thing. Like, it just took me a lot of time to figure out that like I'm not a gym person, and I'm not even like, I don't even really like these like workout classes that much. Like aerobics or like, you know, whatever, spin or other stuff. It's just like I have to have some kind of passion behind it. And so if there's no passion, then it just isn't sustainable. So for me, like dancing and martial arts were something that like I could really feel that like excitement, like, oh, it's so cool. And then you have more motivation behind it. Um, yeah. Synthetic Forest says it's a synthesizer streaming channel, creating sounds from basic patches and making a weekly song with new created sounds. That sounds awesome. I love that. Um, Forrest also says, no, they're not a forester, they work in retail. Well, that will give you a lot of steps as well. I met a guy here actually who is a forester here in Berlin. And yeah, he walks a lot every day because his job is literally like go to a tree, take some notes, like say, oh yeah, this tree needs a branch cut, or like, you know, or it needs to be taken out, or it's fine, or whatever, make some notes, and then go to the next tree and just like go visit all the trees, you know? Kind of cool. Sibley says learning cooking is like learning an instrument. Lots of science and history and guidance or just intuition. Yeah, I like that way of seeing it. Maybe I should try to think of cooking in that way, and like also like, I don't know, I guess it is an art, so like, you know, how can I express myself? I don't know, maybe that will make me like doing it. I feel like I have to bring that element of like passion and creativity and self-expression into anything if I'm gonna really keep doing it. Monk says, I humbly suggest bouldering or climbing in general. Yeah, I did go bouldering, Monk, and I really enjoyed it. And I would like to go again. I kind of in the past months haven't been doing really anything with much impact because I was having quite a bit of trouble with my back. But it is starting to get better, and I'd like to get back to that because that again, it's like something that's really engaging. It's so much fun. Like it's not something like going to a gym, like, oh, I'm gonna like lift some weights and go on this machine. Like that's boring. I hate that. Bouldering is great. Like I really enjoyed it. I just like climbing things in general. I like climbing trees too. Um, yeah. Yeah, dancing is great. I mean, it definitely goes with my love of music and art, so it's a nice way to express yourself. ¿Cómo está? The missing note is here. ¿Cómo está? You're speaking Tagalog to me? How are you, Ken? We're just chatting about healthy habits, healthy life habits, which are sometimes challenging to do. Sibley says, I love to cook the food. I enjoy to learn what it is and where it came from. It gives me great appreciation for the foods I love most. Nice. Yeah, my partner is like that too. He loves cookbooks, like different cultures and trying out new recipes. And I mean, I love it when he does it. For me, like, I look at these books, I'm like, there's too many, there's just too many ingredients. Just like, ugh, too many ingredients. I don't know. I'd rather just throw some stuff together. Like when I cook, it's basically like, okay, what do we have in the fridge? Let's just put some like just grill all that random vegetables, cook some pasta, make some kind of sauce and put it together. Or like get some rice or I don't know. Or I'll do like a stir fry, like Asian style stir fry. Basically, I have my go-to kind of things that kind of work with anything that's in the fridge, and then I just do that. Or like noodles, I just don't like following recipes, guys. I guess this is a common pattern. Like I don't like reading music. I don't like following recipes. Uh, just not patient. Sibley says bouldering can be dangerous. I recommend top roping climbs. I mean, I only go to like bouldering gyms and like where there's a lot of padding and then I just do like the easy ones. I'm not really like planning to get really advanced with that. So, yeah, probably just stick with the indoor stuff. I wouldn't trust myself outdoors, no way. If I did do it outdoors, I mean, I've seen people doing it, and generally they do also bring their like pads and everything. But yeah, no way. I'm not at that level, and that's totally fine for me. Outdoor, the only thing that I climb would be like trees. Like if there's trees that are easy to climb, then sometimes I like to do that. Ken is all right. I'm glad to hear that, Ken. Forrest says quinoa changed my life. Well, guys, we've been chatting for a long time. I think I'm gonna play you another song. What do you think about that? I'm gonna play the request from Mango called End. Actually, let's stand up. We were just talking about how we sit too much. Like, as a culture, I mean, we sit too much. So let's stand up. Let's stand up. Let's stand up to sitting and tell it what we think. We can stand to sometimes. All right, this song is called End. I got nothing more to give to you. Across the years and space you keep on taking. I was young and gave my word to you. You took me over and you held me breaking. Well, you didn't kill me, but I'm not stronger. I can only hope to live to see your end. Well, you didn't kill me, but I'm not stronger. I can only hope to live to see your end. The years of freedom you would give to me, blunted by the loneliness of wanting. I found purpose stitching up your wounds, but you're a monster and no love will heal you. Well, you didn't kill me, but I'm not stronger. I can only hope to live to see your end. Well, you didn't kill me, but I'm not stronger. I can only hope to live to see your end. No love can heal what nature made a monster. No love can heal what nature made a monster. No love can heal what nature made a monster. No love can heal what nature made a monster. Well, you didn't kill me, but I'm not stronger. I can only hope to live to see your end. Yeah, you didn't kill me, but I'm not stronger. I can only hope to live to see your end, 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 to see your end. That was an original song called End. Thanks for the clap, Sibley. Monk. Thanks for being here. Thanks, Mango, again for the request. Nice to meet you too, Forrest. Thanks for dropping by. Blink says, sitting is not outstanding. You're so punny. Well, thanks for the follow, Sibley. Appreciate that. It's nice to have you here. Monk says, I'd love to have a standing desk at work, but the company decided it wouldn't look good if everyone's desk would be at different height. What? That is so weird. I'm sorry, Monk. That is weird. Like, are you customer facing or what? Like, I mean, even then, like, I mean, it's very normal to have different heights of desk, but whatever. All right, guys, so we're heading to the end of the stream. In about 10 minutes, we are going to raid the next stop on the raid train in this Giving Back to Jay raid train fundraiser. Again, if you enjoy this community, if you feel like it's enriched your life in some way, and you felt supported somehow by this music community on Twitch, maybe consider doing a little donation, like a few bucks. Yeah, if we do that, it's a great way to help out Jay, and also just show this community that we have each other's backs. I think that's really meaningful and really great to see that, you know, when somebody is having a rough time, other people are willing to organize an event like this, which, by the way, I know it's a lot of work. So thank you so much to the organizers of this event. And thanks to Jay, of course, for being part of the community. I know that his musical explorations have brought a lot of people joy and mean a lot to people in this community. So yeah, I think it's a really awesome thing that this raid train was organized, and yeah, if you're feeling a warm fuzzy feeling, maybe that's a sign. Just, you know, $1, $2, $3 if you're feeling 20 bucks if you're feeling wild today. Whatever feels right to you. All right, without much ado. Oh, Renat redeemed hydrate. I've forgotten to drink. Ugh, tis tis. You guys, if you have not been drinking water in the past hour or so, let's do that together. Thanks for that, Renat. Mr. Spock says, no work is too much when helping others, just the joy of doing something's the biggest present of all. That's very beautifully stated. All right, I'm gonna play you one last song. This is called Night Train. It's a solo piano original, which is released, by the way. You can find my music on your favorite streaming platform, whether that's Spotify, Apple Music, or also Bandcamp, SoundCloud, etc. Just look up Heartblood and you'll find my music. So without further ado, here is Night Train. That was an original song called Night Train. Again, you can find that on your favorite streaming service. Hope you enjoyed that. I love being able to play music for you guys, so thank you all for being here. Thank you for those of you who have supported the fundraiser over here. The raid train is still going. So if you have been on the fence about maybe contributing, you still got time to think about it. Still can hang out with all of us on the raid train. We are heading out to, I believe, Incomer Band. Is the name? Yes, Incomer Band. I have not been to their channel before, so this will be very interesting. Yeah, so stay tuned. We have a great lineup here on this raid train, and yeah, let's just take a second, breathe in, breathe out. Wow, isn't it great that we're all here together and we're all like different parts of the world, and like I'm here in my room in Berlin, just played some stuff for you on the piano and you heard it, and like there's other people out there that like they heard it and they're in different, like all of that is amazing, in my opinion. So I think we can all just feel really great to have this community, and that people are banding together to support a member of the community. That's just fantastic. I think all of it is just kind of mind blowing if you think about it. We take these things for granted that we have the internet and all this stuff, but hey, it's amazing. You're very welcome, Jay, and I wish you all the best. I hope that things get better for you soon. I mean, we all know how that is, or most of us, know how it is to hit hard times, and I mean, that's a human experience we can all relate to. So we all support you. And let us go raid into the next stream. Incomer Band. All right, I forgot the raid call. Can't forget that. Monk says, connecting with people from all over the world is one of the absolute pleasures of Twitch. Meeting some of them at TwitchCon for community meetups has been absolute highlights of my life. Wow. Yeah, I mean, it is really beautiful, and I'm glad that we have this. I've been streaming for like a year and a half now, I think. And yeah, I can also say it's just been a highlight of my life as well. So just glad to have you all here. And let's head into Incomer Band. And as y'all who have been here already know, my raid call is, this is a hard blood raid, prepare to bleed. And we have to say that bleed part as like scarily as possible, like for good luck. It's very important. So let's go all in there and be like both scary and friendly, both ominous and nice, and let's have a great day. I'll see you on the next stream. Bye.